You know what time it is. It's time to get Mr. Echidnut take on the most recent ReZero episode, Capella's Goodbye, and Al's Ability. Al's Ability? You gonna tell me about it?
I can't believe we're almost done with ReZero Season 3, but so much happened this episode. Beatrice came back.
That is crazy. But what's crazy is that this has been happening since October 2024. We're at the end of March 2025 right now. And even though we didn't get the standard like 24 plus episodes per season that happened in season 1 and season 2, we got like 16, right? 8 episodes. Pretty hype.
Reinhardt became a nuke. Ricardo experienced an average day in London. Capella transformed into every Mushoku Tensei reader's nightmare. And remember that old "who's Rem" joke everyone used to say? Well, the answer is lie Batten Kaitos, because he's Rem now. Also, Reinhardt was not supposed to be in this episode. He literally wasn't in this chapter at all. But I guess not even the story can stop this man from flexing, because he has the divine protection of extra screen time. Also, ever since
I don't think that the anime only, I know Echidnut's just making a joke here, but I don't think that the purpose of this anime only scenes was to just make Reinhardt flex. I think it's to double down on Reinhardt doubling down, right? The outcome of him and the Austria family, Wilhelm basically denouncing him as his grandson, Heinkel crashing out as usual, Reinhardt taking the "I'm just a hero" to heart. You can't see his eyes. The overall vibes when he landed and he has his back turned against us is not good. I think that anime is just like double downing and saying, hey, this is like basically the current state of Reinhardt's mindset.
Not even the story can stop this man from flexing, because he has the divine protection of extra screen time. Also, ever since Capella's introduction, my penis has never been more confused. In one frame, she appears to be smash-worthy, and then a second later, she morphs into something you'd find in Made in Abyss. But her character
True. Her animations are absolutely stunning. It's so grotesque.
Animation and voice actress were the highest S tier I could imagine, even though I think she's by far the most evil Archbishop in ReZero. Remember, these demi-beasts were people once. Capella turns people into things for no reason. Gluttony at least gains something from hurting people, but Capella gains nothing. She just does it for
She just does it for the love of the game. I kind of respect that.
for fun because she hates us. I still love her though. I'm gonna miss her and I'm sad to finally say goodbye. But Beatrice being back.
Another crazy thing is like, damn, we really about to just have the craziest, what is this, 4-0? Sirius down, I think. It's not really confirmed. She just basically got washed out by the water. Regulus is just confirmed to be dead. We got Gluttony and Lust now, right? To take out. 4 archbishops in one arc? They all go down, and that's with Betelgeuse already down. What the fuck? Pride seat doesn't even exist right now. What does that leave us? What does that leave us? What's the 7th sin right now that's missing here? Gluttony, greed, lust, wrath. They're present. Envy. Oh, right. I forgot. The witches, there's 7 of them, but there is no Archbishop of Envy, and the position of Pride has been empty. So, damn, by the end of this arc, all like active Archbishops right now are probably gonna be done. Again, we don't really know about Sirius, but damn, then what happens? Who is the threat? The witch cult just gets dismantled? Pandora's still around? Where is the story gonna go after this? What the fuck?
Does make me feel a bit better. What was she even doing again? Didn't she run out of mana or something after healing everyone? I don't know, you're the YouTuber, so you should know. Anyway, she's using magic again, so...
You're the YouTuber. She ran out of mana and was like in the stasis period. We needed to inject her with mana to get her back up like a battery. But I think they said that it can't be just any mana. It needs to be from Subaru because of the contract, right? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but maybe Kiritaka has something. Maybe he got some crazy mana gemstones that was able to give Byakuya as a battery even though it's not from Subaru.
So something happened. Also, she's absolutely right. Subaru should not be allowed to see Batten Kaitos mocking Rem like this. Honestly, this whole episode was basically just the 2 gluttonies making fun of us and toying with our characters. Playing with their food, basically. And
true. And if Subaru showed up, would he crash out or would he have a very mature stance on it? Part of me kind of wants him to crash out so that we can just like fuck up and die and repeat. Why? I don't know. We just haven't repeated in a while. It's kind of very uncomfortable that we haven't had Return by Death ever since after like episode 2 of season 3, where Sirius just sent us in a loop and loop and loop. It's crazy right now that we are raw dogging this one try after, again, episode 2.
Beatrice might be able to clutch up, but Julius and Ricardo are kinda throwing. Let's be honest, they need Reinhardt. Reinhardt needs to keep ignoring whatever bullshit the author wrote in this chapter and continue doing whatever the fuck he wants, because it's not looking good for Julius and Ricardo, and they could use some help. That fight ended with Julius charging up a crazy attack, but we'll have to wait until next week to see whose blood this is. And now for your favorite part of the video. In this week's edition of Crunchyroll ruining ReZero with bad translations, Roy was supposed to say lunar eclipse instead of just eclipse.
Is that big a deal? I feel like this is insignificant. It's still a fuck up, absolutely. But compared to what made it, when they were talking to Dynas, remember that? When they were talking to Dynas and the term Mary was not Matey, that's a huge fuck up. I don't really know what the implication of eclipse here is, so to me it doesn't feel like a big deal, but why is this a big deal?
Translations, Roy was supposed to say lunar eclipse instead of just eclipse. And for context, I have to tell you a minor spoiler. It doesn't ruin anything though. In fact, it's such a minor spoiler that Drake is listening. Lunar eclipse implies the existence of solar eclipse, which is a completely different ability that hasn't been shown yet, but Crunchyroll ruined that distinction by
okay, it's just like, wow, there's a different power. To me, it just feels like it's not that important. There's going to be 3 now light novel readers who are Eclipse enjoyers that's going to be just molding in the comment section. But again, compared to like Mary, Matey as Mary, that fucks up a lot for the plot. This is like a special move, which is cool.
By omitting the word lunar for no reason. It's like they're using Google Translate. Oh, nope, Google.
Nah, Google Translate would do a better job. AI subs would do a better job. What is happening? Crunchyroll's management of ReZero is pathetic.
Google Translate actually did better than Crunchyroll, and that's just sad. Although, I'll admit that it was funny when they made Al call
True, they did say femboy, and I was like, whoa, what? Femboy?
Felix a femboy. Which reminds me, some of you might have noticed some suspicious dialogue from Al this episode, like where he references being crushed by the building 3 times, even though it only collapsed once. And if you saw my other video, I told you about some of Al's cut dialogue from the start of the
It is unreal how much this guy is basically just spoiling at this point, right? He's just saying it straight up. He just straight up is telling it like he pretty much has returned by death, right? What else is the implication here? That he's done all these battles, that he's like saying that I've already died this many times, I've already done this many times. Like, what the fuck? So again, I don't know the whole Subaru and Al theory, right? It's getting even more annoying how much of a misdirection there is if it's truly the case that Al is not, Subaru. But god damn, bro, he ain't beating the allegations.
Capella fight where he alluded to having an ability similar to Subaru's. Well, this week Al says, it's debatable whether I could kill you even after 100 deaths, which could have.
Does that mean he's done this 100 times already?
Just meant, oh, you're so strong, it would take me 100 tries to kill you. That could just be a meaningless expression.
Or
if not for the other sentence Al says directly after that in the novel. I can't believe they cut this part because it pretty much confirms what we've all been suspecting. I mean, if Subaru said this exact sentence out.
That's another thing, right? Where you can't just directly snitch because Satala gets mad. But what Al's doing, he just kind of gets away with it.
Loud, Satella would probably kill him. But anyway, Al says, it's debatable whether I'll be able to kill you even after 100 deaths. To be honest, I'm already pushing 50 at this point.
50 iterations.
Hello? He just fucking admits it. I'm snitching. Satella! Al just revealed his ability. Again.
Well, there's also the potential that Subaru gets a penalty because it's associated with Satella. If Al's power is not associated with Satella, he can still have a power that's very similar to Return by Death, but not get punished the way that Subaru does.
And I still don't think Al is Subaru, or at least I don't want Al to be Subaru. I like to think Subaru's a special character, and I feel like having clones might take away from that. But regardless, I can't deny that Al's a bit
Toaru!
character, and I feel like having clones might take away from that. But
hey, let's go, Railgun Sisters!
Regardless, I can't deny that Al's ability sounds a lot like Return by Death. He claims to have died 50 times fighting Capella, so what I'm wondering is how many times did he accept her offer? If he really did just die 50 times though, then he handled it pretty well. I mean, Subaru is normally traumatized afterwards, but Al is just like...
he's pretty chill with it. His mental fortitude. He doesn't just like maybe that's the secret. The secret is that he's already insane. You cannot break the mind of a person who's already at rock bottom. And we just see Al as like a nonchalant person who just kind of casually jokes around, but that could all just be a facade of his madness.
Where are the femboys at? A lot of you anime-onlys are calling this an authority, though, and I should remind you that even though it sounds like an authority, we don't know anything about it. Technically, Reinhardt can return by death by his blessing of the Phoenix, so Al's ability could be, yes, an authority, or a divine protection, or even magic, or maybe even a magic item.
I want to believe that it's an authority because of his association with the witches and the miasma that Rem was talking about at the back of his head in the cut content. But that's like web novel cut content. I don't know if that's actually translated into the anime.
Maybe his helmet is a meteor that gives him extra lives or something. I mean, if Felt has an item that can damage Reinhardt, then anything's possible. So despite Al basically confessing what his ability does, he's still extremely mysterious, and apparently so is Anastasia. Anastasia can't use magic. Her gate has been broken since birth, yet we literally saw her using magic. Yes, Subaru could still bust
Is she somehow using spirit magic instead?
out a Shamrock every once in a while despite having a fucked up gate, but that's not the case for Anastasia, so Al suspects her of being Capella. Either way, smash. Wouldn't it be funny though if Anastasia was really Krush this whole time, and it was just Krush pretending to be Anastasia?
That'd be insane. Double what the hell? That would be insane. No, what's going on with Anastasia? It did feel like the implication was you're Capella for a second. But does that make sense? Because Capella is the one that got duped by Anastasia. And at the very end, we see Capella and Anastasia. Like, that's just wrong, right? So, how does Anastasia have these powers? It's a secret she's hiding. Spirit magic? Something else?
To be Krush. Side note, I found something interesting in the JFK files that was previously redacted. The author of ReZero officially confirmed that Reinhardt did in fact wish for the blessing of the Sword Saint, essentially stealing it from Theresia. However, I think he also said in the past that she still would have died even if she had the blessing. Yeah. Anyway, lies.
The outcome doesn't matter, right? It's not about whether or not Theresia would have succeeded or not. It's about like how Reinhardt wanted it, and basically at the timing he was able to take it from Theresia, and Heinkel blames him for it. That's what matters.
His body is covered in scars, and the novel implies that they're the product of abuse rather than just ordinary scars you would
That's right. It's something like Lai is like a slave back in the past.
Get from fighting. There's also potential implications that maybe some of the abuse might have been sexual. And Otto notes that perhaps the reason Lai is so fucked up and crazy is because of his past abuse.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. All these villains, you gotta think about how did they turn out like this. Like, look at Betelgeuse, right? Like in season 1, what the hell is this guy? It's insanity. Season 2, you get to see what led up to that insanity. So just imagine that for Lai.
He also notes that Lai has an incredible talent for combat and a complete mastery of every martial art, which doesn't make any sense because he's like 12. So Otto finally realizes that the authority of gluttony not only consumes memories, but also imports them into Lai, allowing him to essentially download someone else's combat abilities. For example, let's say Lai wants to be a boxing champion. If he eats Mike Tyson, he gains one-punch knockout power.
Okay.
And if he eats Muhammad Ali, now he gets additional speed and endurance. And then, if he eats Floyd Mayweather, now he can't read. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is that he levels up every time he eats somebody. Honestly, it's kind of a similar concept to solo leveling, except instead of summoning people, he gains their powers directly. But
it's pretty OP. The ability to literally take in the expertise, the skills, everything about that person. Like, bro is a master magician, a sword master, martial arts master, all like everything, and it's not limited to just to fighting skills too, right? It's probably like if there was like a really smart intellectual person, like what if he ate a sage? What if he ate a wise man, right? He would also have that intellect. It's kind of crazy, this ability.
But apparently he hasn't eaten anyone with aura yet, because Lai Batten Kaidos is by far the ugliest character in ReZero.
Oh, come on. Is he? Is he really? Honestly, Lai looks like a character straight out of Made in Abyss. Every time I saw him, I'm like, this character does not belong in this show. What the fuck? you got out of Made in Abyss. Is there really no other ugly character? I don't think he's ugly. He's like a different aesthetic design. It's pretty unique. Let's see. Like, what about Gaston? Let's just straight up just throw Gaston under the bus right now. You think that Lai is worse looking than Gaston? Gaston's kind of a Giga Chad now that I think about it. There hasn't really been truly ugly, disgusting looking people in 3-0 so far, huh? I don't know.
Actual negative drip on this kid. Even his brother Roy at least has a decent fit. I mean,
yeah, Roy's fit is great. He's zesty as fuck.
He's no Regulus, but he's still exponentially fresher than Lai, Bat, and Kaidos.
Lai's fit is crazy, bro. What is this? This is the deepest V-neck I've ever seen in my life. The V-neck goes to his crotch. What? What is this, bro? Holy shit, this is the deepest V ever.
Than Lai, Bat, and Kaidos. Otsuka did not cook with this character design. Anyway, we can see Lai spamming a stolen ability called the Leaper technique, which is basically Flash from League of Legends, which we even saw used against Rem in Season 2. He also uses Palm of the Fist King, another stolen ability, which is powerful enough to penetrate steel, and the only reason Gaston survived it was due to his mana flow method.
Dude, Gaston is cracked. This character is getting glazed. What the hell? Bro, these thugs from Season 1? Who would have thought that these random thugs, dumber, and dumbest back in Season 1 would be fighting against archbishops in the future? And you know what the craziest thing is? Lai ain't even the strongest person Gaston has fought. This is straight up cut content. Is it cut content or did I get spoiled of this? No. I think it's additional. It's like minor spoilers. Basically, Dumber, and Dumbest have encountered Valakia's strongest as well in the past. So we meme about how, holy shit, they survived Valakia's strongest, and they survived against Reinhardt in Season 1 when, he pulled up and Reinhardt said, ooh, if Super wasn't here, I don't think I could beat you guys. So, I'm just saying facts, bro. That's a straight up fact. Am I exaggerating? Yes. Of course I'm embellishing it. But if you think about it, these dudes survived against Lugunica's strongest, Valakia's strongest. Your Laibot and Kaitos ain't shit.
Deal, and the only reason Gaston survived it.
Yeah, and then on top of the glaze there, Subaru 1v3 though. It's true. True. Well, he 1v3'd until a knife got pulled, and then he lost anyways.
Was due to his mana flow method. The scariest ability Lai has, though, is obviously his authority, which we saw up close this episode. Imagine the horror of all memory of your best friend being erased in real time while you're looking at him. That's gotta be an awful feeling.
I wish that he could selectively erase memory. For example, I want to witness ReZero again for the first time. Please erase the memory so that I can just watch it and just pop off again. Bro. Man, when is that technology gonna be here? To be able to experience something so goated for the first time again, rather than trying to chase that high that will never be there again. Oh, that'd be great.
Roy uses a variety of stolen abilities too, including a scary-looking water magic attack against Ricardo and Julius, who, by the way, are both extremely powerful, like, a lot stronger than you probably think. However, they're basically fighting against a fucking army, because imagine how many hundreds, if not thousands of people Roy has eaten. Roy is said to be a bizarre eater who just randomly eats anything that's available, while Baten Kaidos is more like a gourmet who only eats the strongest or smartest people.
True. Lai's like commentary about Roy, he mentioned how Roy is like the most hostile, the most like mean of the three.
He can find. He really wants Otto but doesn't know his name, and I found it funny how Otto being a nobody basically saved him. So Lai eats a guy named Hick.
The Otto being a nobody in the disrespect is a very funny running gag that's been happening since Season 1, right? He just nonchalantly, just like the merchant boy. In Season 2, it becomes an integral part of the plot where he is an unknown variable not even Roswell's grimoire was able to pick up. He was an anomaly, right? A piece that could never be detected because of how NPC-like he was. But again, that was paired with, Otto is Pandora's stupid theory. Like, it just keeps going, huh? It just keeps going. Very convenient, huh? That Otto is just chilling here, unidentifiable, just cruising through, and Pandora is also just able to erase memories and shit. Anyways, where am I going with this? Otto's Pandora theory is still going strong. I'm not gonna give that up. It's the stupidest theory, but I'm not gonna give that shit up.
It's funny how Otto being a nobody basically saved him. So Lai eats a guy named Hicks and then draws out his memory of two people named Mirian and Meili. I checked and I couldn't find any stars or anything about Mirian.
The Crunchyroll subs here fucked up and called her Mary, but Meili is the girl with Elsa before. So this Dynus guy, I guess he has association with these two. Maybe it could be his daughter. You never know. It's his family.
But Meili is the name of a character we already know. She's the girl from season 2 that controls monsters and hung out with Elsa. So it's interesting that Hicks was connected to her. And side note, season 4 is basically confirmed because, spoiler, Meili's in season 4. And
let's fucking get it. Meili is back. I never really hated the character. She... Honestly, what she's done is pretty fucked up. She can get corrected, right? She can get corrected.
They just accidentally released her character card for this season when they probably meant to save it. Also, another embarrassing blunder by Crunchyroll. Last season, they translated Meili as Meili, which is a weird way to spell it, but at least it sounded the same. Except this episode, they randomly changed it to Mary.
Exactly. That, I think, is a bigger sin than the Eclipse mistranslation. Because, again, the Eclipse is like, yeah, the implication that there's a different type of Eclipse match special attack, sure. But is that important in the grand scheme of things to the plot for the anime only? It's not really, right? The Meili stuff, though, this is insane. This is straight up an Easter egg that they just fumbled.
So they aren't even keeping their mistranslations consistent. In fact, they're getting worse. They obviously don't give a shit about this anime because they're just doing whatever they want, like fucking Reinhardt. Now, because some of you asked for my take on the recent cut content drama, I think Theresia's episode really divided the community into a political spectrum. On
illiterate shonen retards and toxic novel elitists. Where do I lie in the spectrum? Probably center left, right over here. Probably somewhere around here. You already saw my video about it.
On the far left, we have a small minority of brain-dead anime-onlys who came here just to see fights and they can't read. They skip ahead in the episode whenever someone's talking, they spell Garfield's name with a D at the end, and they dropped ReZero halfway through season 2, but they picked it back up after watching an If Story edit on TikTok. These people thought Theresia's backstory had too much filler, and that Theresia didn't deserve an entire episode to herself. The only other anime they've watched is...
Oh, what the hell? I didn't even know shit about this. I thought we were just talking about like the state of Nagatsuki Tappei's announcement about Reinhardt and the whole divine protection stuff. Okay, we're just talking about the episode itself. All right.
Solo leveling, and they dropped it after season 2 episode.
Boo! Crying pussy! Losing aura. My goat would never lose aura. True Sigmas never cry.
9. But the other end of the spectrum is just as insane. On the far right, we have Doomers, our toxic novel elitists who shit all over the episode every week because they expect the anime to be the novel. And God forbid, if every sentence of every chapter doesn't get a perfect one-to-one adaptation, they will crash out like Regulus and make it...
I don't even... the type of people that I hate from this spectrum are the fucking monkeys that constantly spoil indirectly. They will straight up indirectly spoil by confirming any of the anime only fan theories and stuff like that. It's just like, who the fuck asked? Nobody is asking for like spoilers. They don't even realize what they're doing. They're constantly gatekeeping. All they do is try to like flex their knowledge of being able to read ahead and spoils for everyone else. I fucking hate these people. I straight up hate these toxic novel elitists more than the shonen retards. Because the shonen retards, listen, they're stupid. Yeah, but they have good intent. They just are here to enjoy and just watch the fun, right? They're a bunch of goo-goo gaga idiots, but at the very least, they're not gonna like ruin it for everyone else. These people, the toxic novel elitists, these people are very insidious because they can actually ruin the anime experience by with their shitty ass spoilers, their indirect confirmations, and just overall dooming about the show. But at the end of the day, these spectrums, they are a vocal minority. Most people are reasonable people that lies right over here. And that happens for everything, not just anime, not just ReZero stuff. I'm talking real life politics. But the thing is, the vocal minority are the ones that basically instigates the most, right? Happy, satisfied people in the middle of the spectrum are content with their lives and they just move on. But it is the polar opposite spectrums, the vocal minority that are the loudest, that creates the most bullshit propaganda narratives to make the people in the middle think that, is this the reality? Are people actually this angry and upset and blah, blah, blah? No, because again, at the end of the day, you just do the math. Just look at the Crunchyroll likes to dislike ratio on the solo leveling videos for an example, right? 200,000 likes versus 2,000 dislikes. Who cares at the end of the day?
Like Regulus and make it their sole purpose in life to ruin the joy of anyone who enjoyed the episode. They are like witch cultists, and the light novel is their gospel. Todd is their favorite character, but only because the anime-onlys don't know who he is. These people, I'm not joking, they complained about the Kurgan vs. Garfield fight because Vincent Chansard made Kurgan's face more expressive than it was in the novel. They just—
That's crazy. That level of nitpicking cannot be real.
can't be happy no matter what. But luckily, most ReZero fans are normal, sane moderates who fall somewhere near the center. It's just always the loudest people that have the most extreme opinions.
Exactly. Echidnut said it the best, all right? Whenever you look online, Twitter, Reddit, whatever, and you see things going viral with the most outlandish takes, people just spewing bullshit, and it gets a lot of traction, realize that that's not reality. Social media algorithms rewards that kind of behavior. Therefore, it's a magnifying glass being put on such a non-issue. Just touch some grass and realize that, hey, like take a deep breath. Real people do not act as the people on both ends of the spectrum. These are such a small fraction of the overall viewers that, ruin it for everyone else.
Personally, though, I lean towards the doomer side because I'm an Echidna fan, so I fucking hate cut content, but this season, the cut content really hasn't been that bad. Every episode exceeded my expectations, and I'm extremely impressed with the adaptation we got. However, for once, I will admit I'm a bit concerned about the amount of material next episode has to adapt because it's too much for one episode, and hopefully that just means they're saving some of it to adapt at the start of Season 4, because this chapter does have a lot of build up for the next arc, but I guess we'll see. I let them cook so far, and they cooked magnificently.
Build up for the next arc, which goes to kind of answer my questions in the beginning of this video. Once the archbishops are dealt with, what happens next? Apparently next arc is peak fiction of ReZero, one of the best arcs ever, if not the best arc. Who are the antagonists? Where is the build? Is it just versus Pandora? Is it the final battle against the witch cult? So maybe they're gonna do some setup and kind of tease us and hint that hey, this is what you should be looking forward to coming up in next season.
Magnificently. This episode was a 10 out of 10, and in terms of pacing, I thought this was the best episode of the season, even though the chapter it adapted wasn't necessarily the most exciting. Basically, zero cut content other than the Owl dialogue too, and Capella's amazing transformation scene was obviously the highlight for me. Peak episode, amazing animation, absolute cinema.
Let's go,
I think
Wilhelm.
I might delay next week's video by one day, meaning I'll release it the day after the episode airs, just a heads up because I know a lot of you stay up waiting for my video, and thank you for doing that, by the way. I really appreciate all the love you guys are showing these ReZero videos, even though I'm not really a ReZero channel anymore. But that's all for today. Keep talking.
I think it's better that Echidnut is not just a ReZero channel. And it's not because I'm saying he's a bad ReZero content creator. I'm saying if you want to do content creation long time, sustainability, you can't rely on one show. You gotta diversify, even if you have to bite the bullet. That's just the unfortunate truth about social media and content creation. Please go check out Echidnut's channel. Here's a link to the video. Go give it a like if you did. Support his channel if you want, and see you next time.